In Austin, I'm Mark Mullins. Some Blue Cross Blue Shield policyholders in Central Texas say they're worried after the insurance provider announced its contract with Ascension Seton could expire in January. If the two don't reach a deal by January, policyholders won't get in-network coverage at Ascension facilities in the Austin area. Kelsey Sanchez spoke with patients who could be affected.
Chavis Watson says he doesn't qualify for Medicaid and can't afford the insurance provided by his job, so he relies on Blue Cross Blue Shield.
This is the most affordable option.
So when he heard the news of the looming deadline for the insurance provider to reach a new agreement with Ascension Seton before January 1st, he worried about the care his partner, children, and partner's mother receives.
With things going as they've gone, we had to reapply for SNAP. If her prescription costs go up even $25, it's really tight for us.
According to an Ascension spokesperson, the issue boils down to cost. A hospital system spokesperson says the deal Blue Cross Blue Shield is offering doesn't, quote, address Ascension's financial realities. The hospital pointed to medication costs and equipment. In a statement, Blue Cross Blue Shield told KVUE it values the care Ascension provides and is working to sign new contracts. But the issue for Watson is if the two sides can't reach a new deal, his premiums may spike in the new year.
If I make the decision or we make the decision, then that keeps somebody, profitable. It doesn't necessarily benefit me.
And that was Kelsey Sanchez reporting. The insurance company also noted certain patients who may be getting care for things like disabilities or acute illnesses will be able to get continuing care if this contract lapses. A former Harper ISD teacher has been arrested for a second time after investigators say they uncovered new evidence involving alleged misconduct at Harper High School. The Gillespie County Sheriff's Office says Pedro de Luna III was arrested on December 1st on a charge of invasive visual recording. They arrested de Luna again on December 5th after they got a warrant to search his home. They found digitally stored recordings of female students taken from a theater dressing room. The district says de Luna was put on administrative leave on November 8th. 2 days later, he resigned. Harper ISD's superintendent says law enforcement is reaching out to families who may be affected. She says the safety and well-being of students is their highest priority, and they are cooperating with investigators. A new audit report reports fraud and waste inside Austin Energy, and a former employee faces criminal charges for it. An Austin Energy audit found between 2017 and 2023, former facility service specialist Mark Ibarra allegedly used a city credit card to charge $980,000 to fake vendors tied to him and his family. Auditors blame the utility's inefficient purchasing controls for failing to catch this earlier. Ibarra worked for the city from 2014 until this past October. He faces a first-degree felony theft charge. In a statement, an Austin Energy spokesperson called this a breach of trust, writing, quote, "This individual's illegal conduct does not reflect the values or integrity of Austin Energy or the city of Austin, and we recognize the gravity of this situation and the impact it has on public trust." The utility says it's updating its purchasing procedures to prevent future misconduct. Some Central Austin neighbors are pushing back on Austin ISD's plan to sell the former Rosedale Elementary campus to a developer. That old facility on 49th Street could become an apartment complex. Residents worry the project could change the character of their community. Brianna Perez explains.
Quiet streets, kids playing outside, and neighbors out for a walk. Residents say those are some of the things they love about the Rosedale neighborhood, and they fear it could disappear if a proposed 6-story building moves in.
It'd be nice to be able to get to sleep at night. I'm not sure that's you can't walk the streets. It will be like living downtown.
The new development would replace the former Rosedale Elementary School, which Austin ISD is working to sell to housing developer OHT Partners. The plan calls for 435 units and a parking garage. With a $19 million budget deficit, AISD says the sale is necessary.
The old Rosedale school hasn't been active since 2022. Since then, neighbors say it's a place they come gather and walk their dogs. But according to AISD, if it doesn't get to sell this old property to bring in new revenue, the new budget shortfall could rise to $45.7 million.
Daryl Lazar, who's lived in the neighborhood for 50 years, says the project could bring more traffic.
It doesn't solve their financial problems. They're much larger than that. This is a Band-Aid, and it's an open wound for the community.
The district has now sued property owners in the area. In the lawsuit, they say they want a judge to confirm that the proposed development complies with rules about how the land can be used.
There are so many opportunities for collaboration, and it's bizarre to me how we ended up here.
In a statement, an AISD spokesperson said in part, quote, "We understand that many in the Rosedale neighborhood hoped for a different outcome, and selling the property is disappointing to many. We share that sense of loss." Residents say they won't stand down.
We'd be willing to talk to them about something that's reasonable. This is unreasonable. This is unacceptable. And we will fight them in court all the way up the appeals court process if necessary.
In Central Austin, Brianna Bettis, KVUE News.
The Texas primary election is less than 3 months away, and voters in Williamson County are likely to see more changes to how their elections run. Last election, the county ditched electronic voting machines in favor of hand-marked paper ballots. Now voters can expect changes to where they can vote. Here's Jessica Cha.
For more than a decade, Williamson County voters have been able to cast their ballots at any polling location in the county. So if you live in Round Rock but work in Georgetown, you can just cast your ballot at the Georgetown Annex on your lunch break. Kim Gilby is the chair of the Wilco Democratic Party.
It's really good for working people and the extended hours and everything. It just makes casting your ballot a little bit easier.
But that ease is cause for concern among Williamson County Republicans, who say countywide voting comes with privacy concerns.
I think the assumption is that when you cast a ballot, it's done so privately and that nobody would be able to ever access that information, but we found that that can happen.
Michelle Evans is the chair of the Williamson County Republican Party. She says with countywide voting, you could be the only person from your precinct to vote at a location. So the races on your individual ballot could reveal who you voted for. For example, independent journalists said they were able to figure out who former Texas Republican Party Chair Matt Rinaldi voted for in 2024. So, leaders of the Wilco GOP want to run Election Day voting themselves and bring back precinct-specific voting. That's voting based on where you live.
You would have to vote in a specific location. You would not be able to vote in any other location but that.
Because Republicans want precinct-specific voting, Democratic primary voters will also have to vote at their precinct location on Election Day. During early voting, Wilco voters can cast a ballot at any polling location in the county, and Gilby says all that change will cause confusion.
You can vote all over the county, but then on Election Day, you have to know where you go to vote. And yes, everyone says, oh, it's just a matter of education. Well, if you can tell me how we're going to educate over 450,000 voters in Williamson County, I would love to know.
The Wilco Republicans plan to go door to door to spread the word.
I think that we found that an overwhelming majority of people in Williamson County vote near their home, at least within a mile and a half of their home. So this is not going to create any sort of disenfranchisement. It's not going to be confusing for people. It's just going to require some communication up front.
That was Jessica Cha with that report. Those are the headlines in Austin. I'm Mark Mullins.